So it's the Q&A video. A lot of people sent a bunch of questions that were bad. A lot more sent ones that were bad. But for those of you who sent actual questions, I'm proud of you. And those are the ones I'm actually going to answer. Just snuggle up and get real comfortable. This is Q&A time. A lot of people want to know what it was that actually got me into Source Filmmaker. It was free, and I could get it, and I really like TF2. So I just thought I could probably make my stupid Team Fortress 2 fanfictions in it. So I just kind of got it. I actually was one of the people who got into the early access beta before they were just like, why do we have an early access beta? Let's just give it to everybody. I don't know, that's pretty much it. I saw an opening and I went for it. I guess I also was really into Gmod videos. Like a lot of the early people, like Dr. Face, Kitty, Ed Botnick, all those guys who would make these really goofy Gmod videos, and I was just, I don't know, I really liked them. I really just wanted to try my hand at making something dumb. It just seemed like a really fun thing to do. So where did I get the name Krunkidile from? Back in the day, before Spore came out, there was a Spore Creature Creator, and I was really into that one. I made like maybe 100 different weird little abominations in it, but one of the guys I made was actually called the Krunkidile. It was like a bipedal alligator man with like horns or something. I don't know what it was, but I just really liked the name Krunkidile, and around that time a lot of my screen names were just off of things I made. Like if I named a Pokemon something I really liked, I'd just name a screen name after one of the Pokemons I had. The name Krunkidile just really stuck with me, and I eventually just took it and used it everywhere. A lot of you may remember that this channel was actually called An Angry Sock Puppet a while ago. That was actually a name that I just had because it was before I had any kind of an identity on the internet. I just needed a name for a YouTube channel. Being a kid in middle school, I just thought of the first random thing I could come up with, and An Angry Sock Puppet was that. One that I was asked a lot was, how long does it take you to animate something? That's an answer that has a bunch of different factors that go into it. See, if I'm animating something stupid and really easy to do, it can still take me about 3 to 4 hours. If it's something simple that I don't really give a shit about, but still requires a lot of tedious work and can take maybe 2 to 3 days to finish. If it's something short, like say Dr. Medic, then that could take maybe a week to do, at the least maybe 5 days. But if it's something like a team service announcement or the Overhealer, then that can take maybe 2 to 3 weeks to finish. We also have to factor in the fact that I have things outside of animating that I have to do that unfortunately come before making videos for you guys. Things like school or real life obligations just, eat into a lot of time. Sometimes I just can't animate at all for a whole 3 weeks before I can actually get into Source Filmmaker. And unfortunately, real life comes before animating. If I didn't have those things to do, then I would be animating all the time. But unfortunately, you gotta have priorities. Kyle asks, what inspired you to make the team service announcement series? Was it out of humor or to educate? I always had the idea of creating a tutorial series for Team Fortress 2. A lot of people had already made one where it's just like, hey, here's how you play Scout, here's how you play Heavy, here's how you play Sniper. And they're really kind of just straightforward, deadpan. But there was never really one that tried to have fun with the whole idea. I really just got tired of seeing a bunch of people doing the same dumb, obvious mistakes that everybody does when they first start playing this game. So I just decided, one of the things that really bothered me was when you have a lot of spies or a lot of snipers or a lot of engineers on one team and they're not helping anyone. And so I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna exaggerate why having a million snipers on one team really just does not work. And honestly, right now, as I look back at it, it didn't really show it as well, but people liked it. As it went on, it just kind of became whatever is really griefing people, and that's why I started asking people for suggestions as to what really bothers you in TF2. And so it was like, I really don't like it when medics staple themselves to a heavy and never look at anybody else. I really don't like it when scouts and heavies and soldiers try and shoot people from a mile away instead of getting up in there and trying to fight people. And then people would say, I don't understand when I'm supposed to use the Uber. When is the perfect time to use an Uber charge? I don't understand where I should put my teleporters. And then other times it was just, what don't people really know about TF2? A lot of people didn't really know that if you pick up a health pack when your food meter is down and you have full health, that you can get your sandwich back. It was a lot of necessity, it was a lot of annoyance, it was a lot of things that really just made the team service announcement series become a thing. And I think a lot of people kind of resonate with that, so the same kind of desires and ideas that I had, and that's why it became so popular, I think. The Comb Over text in on Facebook asks, I often look at SFM and wonder, how the fuck does he even do this? Would you be at all willing to, for the sake of those who can't even, like myself, make an SFM tutorial, live stream or something of the sort to help? I have. I've done 1 or 2 streams where I animate and try and explain the process of animation. I don't do it as much as I do just making posters, and honestly I should do it more. I would want to make just a straight up tutorial and put it on YouTube just to tell you just the basics of animating in SFM. For some of the more technical things, I might just make a tutorial later. For the most part, it just kind of comes down to I don't have the time ever to make anything that's not an animation. Like in the time that I get in between working on schoolwork or something else having to do with real life, I'm just like, oh my god, I actually have time. I want to animate. School is my work. When I'm finally out of having to do work, all I want to do is work. That kind of work is just like, oh my god, I have all these ideas that I want to make, and I never have time to just make a tutorial or anything that's not just an animation, because animating takes so much time that I need to put that time into actually animating, and I never get to do the things I'd really like to do. If I had a team of people that I could use to help me create some of the things that aren't animations or help me with my animations, I totally would, but YouTube doesn't pay you enough, and I don't really have this many Patreon guys. I would never put together a team that would work for free. I don't want to have a bunch of people working for me, using their talents to help me out, and then not give them their due. I want to make tutorials, I want to make stream highlights, I want to put all that up, I want to get all that stuff working, but I just don't have the money to do it. So it's all just been me. Whenever I have the time, I just get together. Sato Sad asks, what's the best and worst experience you've had going to the movies and any type of other big event? Tori, you know damn well what the worst experience I had in the movies was. Don't you forget. Don't you even act like you don't know, okay? I was there, you was there, that bum was there, and he smelled real bad, and I think he had lice because I kept feeling really itchy because he was sitting right next to me. I know it's hard out on the streets, it's hard being a hobo and stuff. People don't respect you. Friggin' it's hard, you gotta fend for yourself, you ain't got no food, you ain't got no showers, and I understand it, but you in a goddamn theater and you sit right next to me and you itch as shit. Don't even, no, that's the words, no. Lonely Turret on YouTube asks, what is your opinion on the Brooding Ninja High School Parkour Scout wiki? I didn't expect people to actually like Brooding Ninja High School Parkour Scout enough to make a wiki. It kind of makes sense because it was like I confirmed that yes, this is an actual series that maybe will continue, maybe won't. I was hoping that after the wiki came out, I released a version of the second episode that I made that didn't have dialogue that people would dub, and I thought, oh, this might be fun, maybe I can get people to do that, and nobody did it. So I guess people just want to kind of make their own fan fiction of a fan fiction anime of a video game. The Bring Ninja High School Parkour wiki, it's pretty amazing, I gotta say. I didn't expect people to do it. People are still doing it, which is also amazing to me. The commitment that people have to a fake anime that's based off of a fan fiction of a video game is it's quite inspiring, I must say. Way to go, guys. You guys are the real heroes. Michael Kim asks, when it comes to all of your experiences in life, animation, art, video games, and everything, what are your words of wisdoms to the people who want to follow in your tracks? What is your best advice? I don't know much about video games. I'm not a video game wizard or anything like that. When it comes to art, the best advice I'd probably have to give you is don't expect perfection ever. You're never going to come up with the perfect anything. You're going to be working on something over and over again, erasing, redoing, reassessing, and recreating over and over again. and you'll never get it to be exactly how you had it in your head, and that's okay, because in your head it looks like you have a perfect, like, it's just like, oh, I know exactly what it's supposed to look like, but then when you put it into practice, it's just like, this isn't working, this isn't exactly how I want it, and then you'll start to realize, I didn't have a concrete image in my head at all. I just kind of had words in my head that were just like, yeah, this is perfect, this is what you want, but it's perfect. Trust me on this, I know what I'm talking about. Honestly, you should just strive to make something good, something that makes you happy enough that you're just like, I'll show this to somebody. And even if it's not, just show it to somebody. You don't have to show it to everybody, but just show it to somebody. If you put yourself out there as an artist, you'll start to gain the confidence to, be able to show your things to the world. Whether it's like your singing, or your drawings, or your animations, or voice acting, or anything really. Just, you gotta be confident in yourself that what you're making is good. Even if it's not great, it's still okay. And sometimes your stuff isn't good at all. Sometimes it's really bad. But if you can tell that it's really bad, then that's because you got taste, and you understand why it's bad. And that taste is what separates you from what another schmuck who's just making art because, oh, I want to be popular, I want to be the next star, I want to be the next winglet. The reason you do what you do is because you love it. If you're gonna do art, you have to actually like it. You can't just do something because you want to be popular. If you want to be popular, if you're doing art and you love it and you want to be popular, that's good because you got moxie. And I like that about you, kid. You got spunk. But you can't make art just because you want to make art alone, and you can't make art just because you want to be popular on your own. You have to have both. You have to have the ambition to want to make something great, and you have to have the devotion to stick to it. Because if you just have the desire to be popular, you're going to give up once you realize that making art isn't just pushing a button and having what was in your brain come out on the computer or on the paper or go through the microphone. And if you have the passion but no moxie, then you're going to get frustrated when what you're making isn't perfect, and you're going to constantly just be in a constant, rut. You have to have the moxie to be like, no, I'm going to keep making things. I want to keep doing this over and over again because I want to be good at it. And you have to have the passion to say, I like this enough that I'm actually going to stick with it and keep doing it. If you don't have either, then you need to find something else to do. Everybody has something that they're passionate about and something that they like doing, even if they don't realize it yet. I don't speak Korean, so I'm just gonna call you Rami. They ask, do you draw? Are you good at doing it? I do like to draw. I really enjoy drawing. I don't get to draw as much as I'd like to. I've posted some art stuff that I've done on Tumblr, and I draw a lot for school. Honestly, one of the things I've always wanted to do was start a comic, like a webcomic, just to see where it goes. I have a couple stories that I want to tell that I can't really do with Team Fortress 2 characters. I guess I just need to practice more. I could probably start doing art streams, but sometimes I just don't have the confidence in my own ability to draw to actually be able to draw friggin' anime characters on the spot as accurately as I should. And I still have a lot to learn. Jonah asks, favorite Disney princess? Why did I save this one? Do I have a favorite Disney princess? I don't know. Goofy. Stickers99 in the Steam group asks, in your current career, where do you see your life heading? Like a new house, girlfriend, finding a better job? I don't know about that other crap, but the one thing I really want to do, at the end of, if I were to die, the one thing I want to get done before, I just eat it, is to make a cartoon. Just make a show that people like. Like I said before in the drawing question, I have a bunch of stories and stuff that I would like to tell that I can't really just do with other people's characters. I want to create my own characters. I want to do my own thing. But from what I've seen, in order to actually get my foot in the door with a company or studios like Cartoon Network or Disney or whatever, I'd have to first have a background in the animation industry. I'd have to actually start working for one of these studios or something, and then just be like, yeah, here's my thing. You guys know me. I do this thing. What up? And I think I would have to start making something bigger and better than just Team Fortress 2 source filmmaker animations to really catch the eye of an actual production studio. The thing that I really like doing, that I found through all these years of animating and whatnot, is that I just really like entertaining people and being recognized for doing that and entertaining. You know, I like recognition. Everybody likes recognition, but I like being recognized for, like, hey, you made me happy. You really just brightened my day. I enjoyed what you made because it made me feel good. And, you know, that's what I want. That's all I've ever wanted as an entertainer, is just, you know, help a person out. Make their day a little bit less crappy. Cyberneck Bird asks, will you be doing any SFM movies for Overwatch? What are you most excited for in Overwatch? I think what I'm most excited for in Overwatch is another game that I'm actually interested in. Blizzard does a pretty good job with actually making games. The Overwatch seems like a fun game that I'd like to try out. I haven't gotten to the beta, so I don't really know if I liked it. I was really hesitant on pre-ordering it because a lot of people, especially TF2 pros, were saying that they weren't really that into it enough to actually play it more than the couple hours that they did in the beta. A lot more were actually saying that they didn't even like Overwatch because of the mechanics, and it was a shooter that wasn't really reliant on shooting and more of your use of abilities. A lot of people in the competitive scene don't really like it. Also, having shit everywhere on the screen with laser dragons and black holes and everything flying all over the place, it does make it very hard to spectate. Will I be making videos on it? Probably. Only because the resources are becoming available. There are a few Overwatch models ripped from the game and poured into Source. The only issue is I don't really have any kind of investment or like of the characters. With TF2, all 9 of the classes I love. Even before we got to know them with the Meet the Team shorts, I love their personalities. There were characters I really liked. They were all quirky and interesting. They had their own little thing about them. The Overwatch characters are cool to look at, but that's it. They don't really have any kind of a personality. One of the things in writing or creating a character that's really important is if you have a character that's gay, you need to make a character who is gay and also another thing. You can't just make a gay character whose whole personality is he's gay. And that's what Overwatch kind of did, not in the same way, obviously. Genji's whole character is that he is a robot ninja. That's it. That's all he ever talks about. He talks about honor and dragons and being a robot and being a ninja. We don't really know or care anything else. He kind of has a struggle, but all his struggle is that he has a struggle that he talks about. The only character with any kind of real personality, I think, is Reinhardt, and I shouldn't have to say I think. They're not great characters that I really have any kind of investment in making any kind of like a video about. Unless I can take their character and kind of make fun of it, like it has nothing to do with their actual character because they have none, and I can just like put them in a situation that's silly and stupid, then I would. That's pretty much the only real interest I have in any of the Overwatch characters. I don't want to put them in any kind of a story element, I just want to make a dumb joke with them. I'm hoping that they do delve more into the characters and make me like them more with the animated shorts that are coming out. One of them is supposed to dive into why Tracer and Widowmaker hate each other. But for the most part, right now, I just don't care about any of the Overwatch characters. I think they're annoying or bland or boring. They're just action figures that are cool to look at and cool to fight with each other, but I would never invite them to my birthday party because they suck. Sebastian Perez asks, what do you like most about TF2? It just has something really special about it that has a bunch of people, just the most die-hard community that will help it survive longer than any game really should. It has such a die-hard community that isn't full of a bunch of psychos, but a bunch of people who love the game. But on top of that, it's not just the community. It's the game itself. It's just such a fun game that really cares about its community, that wants to allow its community to make money off of it, that wants its community to have direct input in the game, to make things for the game, that consults with the people who are playing it to make it a better game. like on its basis, it's a game. It's based on a Quake mod. It's got like Quake stuff. It's got rocket jumping and all that. It's a very solid game on itself, but it also has these incredibly likable characters. It has this super interesting lore. It has a humor and a kind of writing style that is unlike any other game it's like in the world. And I think it's that kind of thing. All those things I just listed is why I don't really fear any of the TF2 killers or anything. I don't think that like any game could come out that would murder TF2. I don't think anybody who says, oh, TF2 is dead, they're stupid. Shut up. TF2 is dead when the community decides it's dead. It's dead when Valve stops making things for it. It's dead when the community stops making workshop items for it. It's dead when people stop making SFM videos about it. It's dead when it's long forgotten, and it is not. TF2 is an incredibly relevant game even after these 8 long years.
Oh, and I almost forgot. Here's the losers that were the winners.